And hello, everyone. I am Gia, the Kaizen investor, and I am super excited to be talking tonight with one of the loveliest investors I've ever met out of Dallas, Texas, the one, the only Porsha. So let me bring Porsha on. Hi, Porsha.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm happy.
Me too.
How have you been, Porsha?
I've been good. Just really busy between, my 9 to 5. It's hurricane season. So, as you know, a lot of people know that I do work for FEMA. We're really busy right now between hurricane season, COVID, and real estate, just really busy,
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
Now, for those who don't know who you are and what you do, Porsha, can you catch them up to speed?
Okay, so my name is Porsha Edum. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I've been investing since November 2016. I have a background in environmental sciences. I've been investing for a minute, and I started wholesaling while having a 9 to 5. It's very difficult, but you can do it. A lot of time management. I'm now getting into building and developing. So I started buying my own land and, just starting real small. So yeah, that's what we're working on now. So
that's really cool. So I always start with the same question. Did you find real estate or did real estate find you?
Maybe a little bit of both, because my grandfather, he used to work with a lot of real estate investors, talk about real estate all the time as growing up. And when I was in environmental sciences, I was a vendor for commercial real estate developers. You know what I mean? So it's kind of both. I used to do the ESAs for them. So
and what
when you
is
get
ESA?
It's an environmental site assessment.
Cool.
When you get into developing and different things like that, you have to do that due diligence phase. And that's the part that I used to do as an environmental scientist. So,
Cool. So I always want to know, what was your first deal and what happened?
First deal was, what was my first deal? My first deal was land. Got the lead literally from from door knocking, because I deal with tax delinquents. They are my bread and butter. I love them. And I just found the next of kin that led me to the actual heirs of the property, and knocked on the door. Like they lived here in the DFW area, which most times they tend to. If you're looking at a tax delinquent property and it was from like a person that is passed now or deceased, more than likely the family probably lives still in the metro area, and they just don't bother with the property anymore, but they still live close in the area where you can just go door knock. So that's what I did. And I already had a buyer lined up. I have a really good relationship with a lot of my buyers. They come from the auction. So I do a lot of networking at the auctions, and they have cash. And that was it. I mean, we just negotiated the price amongst the back taxes, got it to my buyer. He paid me on top, and that was it. Like,
it was just smooth all the way through.
Not smooth now. Okay. So, so the sister, so it was 3 heirs, right, to the property. So one of the sisters, the youngest sister, I believe, she ended up having a lien against her. And so, when you ask them, hey, does anybody else have any liens, any encumbrances, anything like that? And they're like, no, we're good. We don't got nothing against us, no judgments, nothing. And so, of course, when title vested in title, and they came up, with their socials and everything, she did have a judgment against her back in, I guess she's an entrepreneur too. And so back in the day, she had did maybe a job for a local college, HBCU here in Dallas, Paul Quinn. And I guess some things happened, and they filed a judgment against her business. So I just negotiated it. I negotiated the lien with the lien holder and said that she was going to get this amount. And so, her sister had to pay her, outside. So, but yeah, and it got taken care of, but just different ways, but
Nice. Now,
yeah.
what I've always appreciated about you, Porsha, is you always openly express the advantage of
Right.
leveraging your 9 to 5. Can you talk
Correct.
a little bit about that?
Um, I definitely am a big advocate for having a 9 to 5. I remember when I went back to FEMA, and a lot of my investor friends were definitely against me going back, to go back part time.
Yeah.
But I was like, but I just saw it as a bigger vision. When you are in real estate, and if you don't own a home, you do have to have 2 years of work history, or as an entrepreneur or business
Mhm.
owner, you have to have the 2 years of tax income, to be able to apply for a mortgage to use the traditional financing, right? So
Mhm.
for me, I hadn't been out of the 9 to 5 world that long to where I could still do that 2 years, build my credit, business and personal. And also the HR, the training, like all of that stuff that they do for me, I do it to my VAs. I do it to,
Nice.
you just have to learn. I'm not saying like everybody loves their 9 to 5. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, though, you don't have to worry when sometimes real estate will get slow. You may not have a deal. And
Yep.
so you don't want to be stressed out behind your bills. And then, because to me, I think that's when people start doing things unethically
Yep.
in real estate, because they're like, oh my goodness, I just got to get a deal. I just got to get a deal because I got these bills and da 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 da. But you don't have to be stressed out. It's paying for your regular lifestyle or whatever it may be. And then once you replace that income with, buying you some rentals, buying you some
Mhm.
buy and holds, you can then walk away from the 9 to 5, which is my plan. I have my
Mhm.
number in my head. Once I'm making that, then I will leave my 9 to 5. But just always leverage your 9 to 5. And like I said, by the HR stuff, how they hire you, the background checks, the training manuals, like all of that
Mm.
stuff. It's all what you have to do in your business. Same way.
I
Mhm.
love that.
Yeah.
And for those who aren't familiar, I know about the goal number. I have my goal financial number as well.
Mhm.
Can you
Mhm.
explain what that number, not your personal number,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
but what does that signify? What does that mean?
Well, it means, for me, it means freedom.
Mhm.
So definitely I have in there my monthly bills.
Yep.
I'm about to buy a house. So like my house that I'll house hack. And so it'll be my monthly bills. What else? Because I don't have a car note. Like
Yeah.
my car note's paid for. So I'm trying to think. Like, definitely all my monthly bills, and then anything else of like a lifestyle. Because I'm not the office type person.
Mhm.
I'm the traveler type person. I want to have my laptop, my cell phone, VAs where I can do things virtually with DocuSign or anything like that, and just be on the beach and be on the go.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to do. Whenever I do decide to have children, my children can be homeschooled. Like, this is that number, and
Mhm.
and what it needs to look like for me, because I don't want my children even attached or to an area just because they have to go to school. Like, we're not going to do that. That's not what I want to
Mhm.
do. So
I like
yeah.
that. I like that. And I appreciate you
Mhm.
touching on that, because in many ways there is some messaging that makes me feel like, oh, one deal and I quit my job, and I sit there and I cringe. I'm like, ooh, ooh,
Right.
yikes.
Right. Yeah. Because that
Don't do
next
that.
deal can be like, maybe a month away or two
Or
months
a
away.
year. For a friend of
Yeah.
mine, it was a whole year.
Right. Right. Especially when you're a solopreneur starting, and then you have
Mm.
to start building teams, you gotta start building systems, you gotta start building all this stuff. Like, it gets complicated. Like, it just does. That's the honest truth about it.
Mhm. Now, before we continue, I have to acknowledge my family here on the IG Reel. Hello, everybody on IG. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you guys want to see the full experience, I highly suggest you click the link in my bio and hop over to YouTube. That's where the party is happening. And if you have any questions, they will be acknowledged here on YouTube first. Okay? So come over and join the party. So, I always like to ask people about failures, losses, all of that, but we choose to rebrand that as lessons. Because that's
Yeah,
what it really is.
yes, they are. Yeah, L's are lessons, right?
Yeah,
Correct.
that's what it really is. So can you tell me about the last time that you had a major lesson in your business?
The last time was maybe it is a big deal that I always like try to talk about because it was the most teachable one.
Mhm.
And I think a lot, me and you know, we met at a large wholesaling event
Yep.
seminar where a lot of people they get into those and they're following these different gurus and different things like that.
Mhm.
But for me, the gurus don't talk enough about contracts. They don't talk enough about the legal and legalities of things that can happen in this
Mhm.
business if it goes wrong.
Yes.
So for me, the biggest like lesson that I've taken thus far from investing starting in November of 2016 would have to be November 2018. I had a really big deal under contract. ARV would have been around 600,000. It was in a historical district. I got it for 110.
Nice.
And so my spread was going to be really nice because the buyer was going to pay up to 210. So it was like, yeah, it was a really big deal. But hindsight looking at it, that's probably why it was so easy how everything went through. But comes to find out, with the title company, the DA for the city of Dallas and federal agents, I work for the federal government, you know, whatever. So federal agents came into the title company and, you know, cleared the deal, like where it was just like, no good, because the seller had fraudulently deeded the house into their name.
What?
Right. And so I always try to I tell that story a lot because like that scared me because I've never been in trouble like before. I don't, you know, do nothing crazy or unethical or anything like that. And so I had to be interrogated. Like it was this really big deal. And I always try to tell newbies that like you have to make sure that the sellers are the rightful owners. You know, sellers lie and buyers lie. But
Facts.
you have to do your due diligence as the middle person because it's on you. You know, and I thank God all the time that that deal didn't close, because it just would have been bad. And yeah, so that was probably like the biggest lesson. That would have been, you know, like at the time, one of the largest deals that I probably had ever seen.
Wow. That is crazy. That is so crazy. Can you still hear me well, Porsha? I know. I don't know why I'm frozen all of a sudden. That is not fun. Oh, now you can't hear me either. No. Come on, technology. Hold on one second. I want to take you. I know. I can hear you too. I will have to turn it up. Hold on. I'm going to remove myself for a second. Hold on, everybody. Myself back on. Hi, everyone. Okay, let's see. And now I just see a black screen for you. Up, up, up. Log back in for me, darling. It's all right. It's called life. In the meantime, hi, everybody. Hello, people on Instagram. Hello, people on YouTube. I have to shout out hello, Enchanta. Hello, my peer. Welcome. I'm so happy you made it here. Welcome to YouTube land. It's nice, isn't it? Isn't YouTube nice? Tell the people over to Instagram to join us on the party. Yes. And who else is here? Hey, Kevin. I think that's everybody. Hello, Block Options. Hello, Dominique. Hi, everybody. In the meantime, I want to know, where is everybody watching from? City and state, please. City and state. I love to know where everybody is watching from this evening. Every time I do these lives, it's always fascinating to see where everybody is watching from and what everyone is up to. I love it. I love it. I love it. And my Alicia is here. Hey there, Unpredictable 876. How y'all been? How have y'all been? All right, beautiful. Are you able to look? Mm-hmm. Porsha is a real one. She is a real one. Let's see here. All right, I see you.
Okay,
We're back.
we're back. Okay, sorry about that. I don't know what was going on.
Don't worry. It's called technology. Don't worry. Sometimes technology be real petty sometimes. All right, I'm going to lower the audio down here on my phone.
Okay, let me lower my audio too. Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, cool.
I can hear you perfectly. Hi, Tanya. How are you doing? Welcome, everybody. So yeah, let's get back to. Oh, I hear myself again. Is your phone all the way down?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, Cleveland, Ohio. What's going on, block options?
You still hear yourself?
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, we're good.
Okay, cool.
Thank you for everyone's patience and holding us down. It's weird. I still hear myself. Do people hear feedback? We're gonna keep it pushing. Okay. Here's what I want to know. Don't worry.
Okay.
It's not right there.
Okay. Yeah, it's all the way down. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Come back to me. It's okay.
Okay.
Here's what I want to know. I told you that I was going to get all up in your business. I warned you. So I want to know this. What consists of your team right now? You talk about your VAs. Tell me about your dream team and how you organize them.
Okay, dream team is very slim. So I have 2 VAs. Because I do tax delinquents, I have a VA that pulls for me quarterly. So that's just by contract, because it doesn't need to be pulled monthly. So they do it quarterly. And then I have another VA that does like a lot of data entry for me, which we're going to do some new training this week because I need more like research analyst type stuff going on because I focus on deep research a lot. And I'm doing some new training videos like today. I did one yesterday. So I'm just going through a lot of different new videos for them to do. But it's just those 2. And then I have a cold caller that calls for me during the daytime. That's it for right now.
So can you go and explain in depth what deep research is?
Deep research is going to be because I have to search for heirs. So we're going to be like really trying to find, if a person has died, we need to find that next of kin. And it can be a series of, different sources that we use. I may hire a private investigator, professional genealogist. It just depends. It depends on the deal and it depends on the squeeze for the juice. You know what I mean? So
this sounds juicy for us to continue on Instagram. So those on Instagram, click the link in my bio, come and join us on YouTube, but I am turning this off. Okay? Link is in my bio. I'm turning this off.
Oh, you're turning IG off. Okay.
IG off. Yeah, because there's feedback and it doesn't matter. All right. So the 3 people are here. Let's ride it out. So you said private investigator and a genie what? Come again now?
Like the genealogist, like for the people that look for like the family history. I may be pronouncing it wrong. I don't know. But that's what they are, like that's what they do. So just like the airships and stuff like that. Yeah.
That is really, really cool.
Because most times people, they'll give up on, finding, a telephone number or something like that. It's just really weird. But I mean, if it's not for them, it's not for them. But me personally, I don't do volume. I'm a bigger fish in a smaller pond.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't do the volume. I know people that they're pulling, they're doing 60, 70,000 lists, every month. I don't pull those type of numbers because I like to keep it small because like I don't use wholesaling as like wholesaling is active income. It's just like a 9 to 5. So I use.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was saying I use wholesaling as a tool. So I'm using it to find my own deals. And it's like once I find my own deals, you buy it, rent to own, you know what I mean? Like our rental, and that's working on that number that I'm talking about for me to walk away. So I'm not using it just for, just the income because I have a 9 to 5. And that's literally what a wholesaling operation is. It's a 9 to 5.
Yes. So can you explain to someone who's not familiar with wholesaling why you consider it to be, well, it's not you consider it, it really is a 9 to 5. It is a job, but why? Can you explain a little bit for those who aren't familiar?
Because you got to constantly, it's what you put in is what you get out. Yeah, the numbers are bigger than a normal, typical 9 to 5. But if you're not marketing, if you're not making calls, if you're not putting out bandit signs, if you're not sending out mailers, any of the marketing that you choose to do,
Yep.
You will not have deals. And then you have to depend on the other wholesalers. Like if you're an investor, to actually bring you the deals when they're, charging their amount on top. That's why for me, I started wholesaling. I can find my own deals. I don't buy from wholesalers. No need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, no need to.
You know how to find them.
I know how to find them. I know how to find the same deals that they're finding. You know what I'm saying? I just work on my own stuff and I do my own lead generation. I think people have to focus more on lead generation and you decide if you want to wholesale it. You know what I mean? Like wholesaling is just an exit strategy. It's not, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. So first of all, I appreciate you saying that because some people don't understand that you are still working for money when you were wholesaling. It's not passive income at all. There's nothing passive. It's highly active.
It's very active.
Highly active.
Very active. I mean, you can, like you said, I can set up people and set up processes. I'm actually training a transaction coordinator this week as well. And the transaction coordinator just handle all my paperwork when it goes to title. Nice. Because as you know, still like as now, I'm doing the acquisitions, dispo, and transaction coordinating. And it's just, just eventually, you just fire yourself from each step. But I like a small team. I like to keep it very small, very short, and that works for me. So, yeah.
So with your team, I always love to talk about systems, processes, and tools. What have been some useful tools and what systems have you put in place to help you be productive and efficient?
Well, productivity for me, definitely Trello. I love that app. It's an app and it's a desktop version. I love Trello. It does different boards and you can set up tasks for yourself, to-do lists, know what you need to do, what you need to work on, set a time limit. You can assign different tasks. I know a lot of other people, they use Asana or just different ones, but I like Trello. It's really easy, really simple, because I'm not really tech savvy. I don't really like all the back end stuff of the systems. So, I'll hire somebody to set it up for me, but I have the vision of how I kind of want it to work.
Got it.
But Trello is really great. Propelio, like I love Propelio. I use the desktop and I use the app. And, when I'm using the app, it goes right into the CRM. So I use those and pretty much in Google Sheets. Like that's it. Not a lot. Yeah.
Nice. And yes, Enchanta, she said it on, I need to bring this up. She's right. Small but productive and effective is key. I could not agree more.
Correct. Yeah.
I could not agree more. I mean, I tip my hat to people who want to develop very large.
Of course.
I tip my hat.
Of course.
But
but that's just not for me. That's not my goal.
Exactly.
So that's all it is. And I think newbies have to understand as well. Yes. Everything's not for everybody. Like you don't have to want to run, you know what I mean? Like a $500 million business or $1 billion business. You don't have to do that. Like, I mean, you can still make $1 million if you had 10 properties, all free and clear or whatever, and they all appraised over $100,000.
Yep.
That's $1 million. It's 10 houses. Like, if they appraise all over, 100,000 and whatever. And there you go. Like, you don't need, I don't know. It's just, that's why I always tell people, real estate is not one box.
Yes.
It is a plethora of ways to get it. And also at the same time, what is your goals? My goals are different. My risks are different. My capital is different. I can't tell you, you know what I'm saying? I can't tell you how to do something that in real estate because I don't know you. I don't know anything about, your goals or what you want life to look like for you. I want to be on the go. You know what I mean? Like with my laptop doing this, my headsets on, my headphones on, and just making deals, over the computer and stuff. I don't want to be in an office.
I'm happy you touched on that though, because that requires a considerable amount of self-awareness right there. It really, really does. I'm happy that you said that because a lot of people need to hear that more, that you have to know what you need and what you need is going to look different than the person next to you.
Correct. And the gurus that we're learning from or that who have done it, they have call centers of 100 people. No, ma'am. That is not the life I want. That is not the life I want. No, not for me. Not for me, no.
So what have you learned about yourself now having a team that you are managing and leading?
That I have to be better. If they fail, it's because of me. It's all accountability for me because I'm the one that's needing their service, not necessarily like them. Well, I mean, it's a two-way street, but at the same time, I really need them kind of more than they need me, you know, because it's like they can go get a job anywhere or they can get paid anywhere from anybody. So it's kind of like, well, no, like I need to make sure that the training is up to par, that what I'm teaching them or that what I'm talking about, that I'm doing it specifically. And that's a part that I struggle with. Like it's just a part that I struggle with. Like in business, that part is hard, building a team. Because you have to make sure that you're doing it correctly. I see a lot of people always, oh, this VA sucked or this VA wasn't good. No, that probably means you sucked or you didn't do good, because the VA only is doing what you told her or showed her or taught him or her how to do it. Like, that's why they suck, because you suck. Like you suck at training. And that's what then I go back to, how were you trained at your 9 to 5? Did you do well in your 9 to 5? If you did, well, they trained you very well. You should take steps from your trainer who trained you at your 9 to 5. That's what I mean by leverage of your 9 to 5. Right.
Well said. Now, I've noticed recently you've done a training where you train people. And what was the name of the training, by the way?
It wasn't a name. It was really impromptu. Those were people that I knew and that want to get into real estate, but were willing to help me on my leads. They're the ones that are doing the lead. They're working on the leads. They are, making calls for me, different things like that. And so that was about, I think like 4 people. But 3 of those people, one is my actual employee, but the other 3, they are just walking along with me. Like when they get a deal, I'm going to walk them through their deal. Maybe 1 to 3 deals. Then after that, they're going to go on their own to learn how to do lead generation. It wasn't a class where it was just kind of like I promoted it or they paid for it. Like, no, they personally reached out to me, and they're here in the Dallas area. And I just set it up because I don't have time to meet or talk to people individually so much, because it's so draining. And I feel like people, sometimes they get offended, but I don't mean to offend you. It's just when you're actively doing this and you're working a 9 to 5, I don't have time to, answer maybe like 50 million questions, because it's more than just 3 responses. I can't talk about a whole real estate deal or process through text message. Like we have to jump on a call and talk.
You can't do a DM mentorship? Is that what you're saying, Porsha?
I cannot do that. I cannot do that. No, ma'am. I can't do that.
Oh, man.
I can't do that, though. So, yeah, I'm sure you get the same thing, too, though. I'm sure you get the same thing.
But here's my upcoming question for you, which is, how have you leveraged your relationships in order to stay effective and productive, right? Meaning family members, significant others, because when it comes to business as a whole, it's not like we have different tracks. It's not like, oh, my life is just this business and nothing else. We all have personal responsibilities. We have family responsibilities. You have responsibilities to your friends. How are you balancing all of this and still being there for your family?
Including them in it. Yeah. That's what I include in it. My co-caller is my aunt. So so my sister, and I don't know if a lot of people know, but my sister is in prison. She made parole, so she will be home next month. Nice. And before my sister got locked up, she helped me with everything. I mean, bandit signs, letters, calls, door knocking. Like, she was there for like all of the steps, and just got jammed up with the situation and everything. And when she's coming home, I'm going to train her, effectively now, like how we're doing everything with tax delinquents. And it's just more consistent. And she will be more so probably running all the stuff on the operations, as far as like keeping everybody on task, on track, on this, on that, just making sure. But I'm going to train her in that so she can know that. So it's just getting them a part of it. Even my boyfriend, we are long distance. He's in the Houston area, but he focuses more on like mobile homes and same thing, bandit signs, letters, like same thing. Like we're both involved in it. So that's pretty much kind of how that works. So just get people involved.
I love that. Has your family always been supportive of your entrepreneurial ventures?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Ah, that's a
Yes. Well,
blessing.
not, I mean, my intermediate family, not like probably like distant cousins
Yeah.
and or stuff like that. I mean, maybe they are now, but starting off, a lot of people really just didn't know what I did or what I do. And I'm so busy at times with stuff. Like I sometimes I don't even go to like family functions when it's everybody because I don't have the time. But they can always call me for advice or anything like that. But just right now, I don't have the time because I'm building. So.
Mm. Now
Mhm.
let's transition into this world of development. I'm dying to know because like I said, I told you I was going to be nosy tonight. So, how did you get into the whole development aspect of real estate developing?
Because my first few deals were land deals, and
Gotcha.
I just started focusing on land, and I focused on grass, and I just love land,
Mm.
all types of land. So from infill lots to acreage to raw land, to rural agriculture, hunting, like all types of land. It's just you can do anything with it. So it's just the possibilities are endless. I heard a podcast off of Earn Your Leisure,
Mhm.
Brandon Rule, and I was like, what? Like, this is what I want to do. But then also, contacting those connections when I was an environmental scientist because they were all commercial real estate developers. I was just a vendor for them at the time. And so that's just kind of how I started. But the infill lots were the easiest to get. And then now we're building. So that's
Now, can
all.
you explain to me and for the audience what is an infill lot?
Just like in a neighborhood,
Okay.
like if you're in a neighborhood and you see the lots that are already, just if it used to be a house and the
Mhm.
house got torn down or whatever, that's just a vacant lot in that neighborhood.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So they're already developed, they're already platted, water and sewer lines more than possible, like runs to them.
Mhm.
So just the infill. So yeah. Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Buildable lots, they're already ready to build on. Like you
Mm.
don't have to do like a lot, to clear them and stuff. So.
And get started with that. I love that.
Mhm.
So, what is your upcoming goal for yourself and your business? For you as Porsha and for your business?
Personal goal for sure is to my personal home to get it, get everything together. I bought a lot myself
Mhm.
to get it built, and then I will house hack my personal home. That's a personal goal for me, and also my mom bought a lot, so get her house
Nice.
up and built and everything like that. I recommend building because you win equity instantly
Mm.
because it's cheaper to build than to, sometimes when people are going in and they're buying like remodeled homes
Mhm.
already, or it's cheaper to get a fixer upper home. And this is for retail buyers. So
Yeah.
like if a person don't want to invest, like, well, you're still kind of investing, even if you do traditionally, depending on how you buy.
Okay.
If you buy it where you need to fix it up, you win in equity. If you buy where you need to build, you win in equity too. And of course, that's just depending on where you build, where the lot is at.
Mhm.
Not really in HOAs and subdivisions. I'm building more in the city. So,
Got
like,
it.
those are older neighborhoods, like, different things of that nature, the hood, if you want to call it, whatever. But we build out there and doesn't cost that much to build. But because of all the development going on around it, my home will appraise for what's going on around it, and it didn't cost me that much to build. Does that make sense?
That makes
Like,
perfect sense.
yeah.
Now,
So
no, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, but then for my business, the goals are just getting that number of more consistent deals
Mhm.
for everyone. So, everyone on my team, everybody can eat and, just make that a little bit more consistent on what we're trying to do monthly. And I think, I have business coaches and they're working with me with getting the systems, sitting me down because I do like being in the field too. I love door knocking and driving for dollars, but I have to sit down, get the systems in place, be more organized, and get it all together for my team to win and to eat. So just being a little bit more consistent on my behalf is running it. So yeah.
That is cool. Now, I want to step back a couple of steps. Can you tell all of us here a basic outline of what it is like, the process from buying your infill lot to finding your developer to getting an architect or whoever on your team to having a finished product of a home?
Okay, so starting right now, like I just bought the lot cash. I found like I lead generated my own leads. Found the person, bought the lot cash. And the relationships that I have with a builder out here, for her is just she finances my bills. So I don't bring the financing for it. I just pay for my lot. I pay for my plans. I pay for my permits and I pay for my closing costs.
Okay.
So she finances the build. So, just so with that, and I mean, she has the different plans that have already been approved by the city. So I just kind of go through different ones that I want to see, because I don't feel comfortable staying in a place or for somebody else, like a tenant or retail buyer, if I wouldn't stay there.
Yes.
So so that's kind of the mindset that I have. But yeah, she's great. And I have a few builders that I deal with, and it's the same process with them. Now, with a developer that I deal with out here, and see, my builder, she only deals with the infill lots though. So if I came across some acreage that I wanted to develop and make like a subdivision, I'll reach out to my developer. So it's two different things. You got a builder and a developer. They're two different things. So with my developer, though, he very knowledgeable, older guy. He's been doing this for 30, 35 years. He has everything amongst his business as far as the architect, the engineer. So I'm just going through him with the service.
Got
you know
it.
what I mean? So most developers or builders, they're going to have those people on their team already.
Got it.
So yeah.
That is really cool. Now, for someone, if they were interested in doing the same thing in their state, how would one go about finding a builder and or a developer? Where should they look, Porsha?
So when I got my first few lots under contract, they were all back to back, side by side. I drove the neighborhood. That's how I found my first builder. I literally just drove the neighborhood, and she was building, and she's a woman. She was building in that neighborhood. I got out the car. I talked to one of her workers, and he linked me with her, and we've been connected ever since. Like I met her in 2018. And other builders, she has brought them to me, or because it's different levels. Like her and I, the first one that we're doing right now, it's under 250, so it's affordable housing. And other builders that she's brought to me, they only do 250 and up, or 300,000 and up, stuff like that. You can also look on Instagram. There's plenty of builders on Instagram. It's networking events. They'll be at the networking events. It's another thing that it's a lot of builders at. So it's this thing in Dallas that's kind of like a Black Chamber of Commerce kind of.
Okay.
They're there. So stuff like that is, you can find builders like that. But a lot of times, once you find that one builder, just drive the neighborhood. They'll have their signs out saying, that they built whatever house or, however you want to, just when you drive around that neighborhood.
I like that.
That's how I found her. And then, like I said, just over the years, she's bringing different builders and stuff like that. Also, when you find, like I said, when you find a lot or whatever where you're at, look on the CAD, so the County Appraisal District. When you look on the County Appraisal District, it has a GIS link. Part of my degree, I'm certified in geographic information systems. But when you look on the GIS of your CAD, it's going to show you different lots that may be in the area. And when you click on those, it's going to show you the owners. A lot of times they're the builders. And so then you could just find them and reach out to them. Right, exactly. And also when you run your comps, you're going to see the new construction numbers. So if a house just sold for like, 280 or 320 or whatever it may be, that builder, that's the builder that did it. You can reach out to reach out to the real estate agent if you want to ask, who was the builder on this lot, or, I really like that house, or et cetera, whatever.
Thank you for that tip. That was a major tip, Porsha.
Yeah, I feel like, it's not a secret. Like, I think just people sometimes, and that's what I mean by like, when I'm saying like deep research, it's so hard for me to teach because I did it for so long, for 4 years with environmental scientists. As an environmental scientist, when I look at it, I just know what to do. And I just, and so it's the same thing when I'm searching. I just think outside the box. That's all.
I love that. But it's so funny too, because everyone, it's true, Pierre. Look, let me put it up. Pierre said it. He said it. He says, "You're giving out the sauce. You are tonight." You are. It's very, very true, though, because traditionally, when we think of real estate and we think of new developments, it's easy to assume that something like that is out of our reach, right?
No, it's
I love,
not.
yeah, exactly. I love that.
Mm-mm.
I love that.
It's not at all. Yeah, it's a property that I'm looking at. It's only 10 acres that I'm looking at, but with it being 10 acres, so one you can build 5 houses on 1 acre of land.
Wow.
Right. So
How many
for
square foot
me,
are these, but how many square footage are these houses though?
it depends because sometimes, okay, so that's going to depend on the city. So sometimes they need to be 1,300 square feet.
Okay.
But you can build houses if they're saying it has to be like a minimum amount. So all of that's going to come from the city. And so it's like, don't trip out. Don't, start worrying. Just go to the city and ask them. Go to the zoning and planning department and ask them, hey, what does the frontage and the depth, like all that stuff, what does all those things need to be? And they're going to tell you, they'll tell you step by step what it all needs to be, how big they need to be, the lots, because you have to go in as a developer, you're going to have to go in and plat that. You're going to have to go get those platted and surveyed and everything.
Now I have a hypothetical question for you. Because of course, when you're doing all this lead generation, you come across people who have inherited property and inherited land, right? And you mentioned something very, very good. I stalk you on Twitter. You mentioned something very, very good about people who do not value what they have inherited, and so end up just selling it all away. So my question to you is this: if someone on here, or someone who's watching this, has inherited, I don't know, maybe 2 acres of land in rural Alabama or wherever, should they stay or should they go? How can they maximize and build the wealth that has been given to them? What would you do?
If I inherited like 2 acres of land in a state that I'm not in, the first thing I would do, I would talk to my probate attorney, which she also does estate planning here in Dallas, to see if she knows any attorneys there in that state. Because, just networking is who you know, et cetera, et cetera. But if she doesn't know anybody, I'm going to get online. I'm going to look for a probate estate planning attorney. I'm going to do a consultation with them and tell them about the property, the heirs that are on it, and all of this stuff. Because some states have different laws about heirship property, where if one heir was to sell a percentage of their interest to an investor or buyer, eventually that investor can then force a sale on that entire property and you lose it. Correct. It's something, it's on YouTube. It's called Vice News. It's a video in Vice News. It's about these people that were from like Louisiana. This Black family had 400 and something acres, I think 482 acres for 125 years, but it was heirship land. And so many of the heirs who had never been to this little city in Louisiana, it's like a little country city in Louisiana, they probably lived in New York, just wherever, California, whatever. They were selling their interest to this timber. He was a timber wood investor or whatever. He does timber. They were selling the interest to him. He had, I think, maybe 20 to 30%. And when he got that amount, he forced the sale. Wow. They had to come to the auction. And they were trying to outbid him. They didn't outbid him, of course, and they lost the land. They had owned the land for 125 years. So you have to make sure the estate planning is correct on, the heirship properties for whatever states, because some states still go by that. Louisiana is one of those states. Texas does not, but still, you just want to make sure that the estate planning is okay. Somebody is assigned to it where people can't sign over their interests. If they do sign over their interest, sign it over to a family member, not to somebody else, or where you lose your property. But that's the first step that I would do. I would make sure that our property is safe from no heirs trying to sell off their portions. That would be the first step. The next step I would do, I would do some comps in the area, like look on Zillow or Redfin or something like that. Scope out the area for new construction. That's what I would do. I would want to see what's selling in the area close to my land. So if I do see new construction being built and houses are selling for 200, 320, whatever, okay, I'm going to build there. We're going to build there. So then after that, what I would do is, so after I see the numbers, okay, it's selling, et cetera, et cetera, might look up some jobs, like maybe Google and stuff, to kind of see what kind of drives, the economy there. Or maybe it could be a next city where they commute. I would just kind of do my research and stuff on that to see kind of what is going on in the area. After that, I then would maybe in my network or even like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, see if somebody lives in the area. Reach out to your network, see if somebody lives in the area. Because if they live in the area or if they're from there, they may have family there. They can tell you a lot more about the area because you don't know anything about it. So reach out to your network. Your network is very important. Then I would start looking for a builder in the area, like by the ways that I told you. So like if you look on Zillow or Redfin or all of that, realtor.com, all of that stuff, and you see a house that you like, you see the plans, like, oh, this is beautiful, reach out to the realtor, ask her, or reach out to multiple realtors and ask them, like, hey, how's the market there? How's the new construction market there? Like, how are people buying, et cetera, stuff like that. So that's kind of the steps that I would do. And then once I found a builder, they would more than likely probably link you with a developer, because most builders, they don't want to develop land. They don't want to do that. They want the land to already be ready. Gotcha. They don't want to go in and put in the streets, put in the the sewage, and they don't want to do all that. They just want to build. Some builders don't want to do that. So you would need to speak to them. Maybe call the city. Definitely call the city to kind of see, like, hey, like, what would it take, for us to get, this 2 acres of land, maybe platted out, see what the zoning is, because you'll get it platted out into lots. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then that's how you build a neighborhood. If you want a dog park there, if you want a little swing set for the kids or something or whatever, it's whatever your mind wants to do as a developer, to create the community.
Yeah, first of all, Tanya is absolutely right. Porsha is awesome, isn't she?
Thank you.
Awesome. But I also have to, all that's fantastic. However, I want to ask you the follow-up natural question, which is, I don't know anything about this, Porsha. How would I find funding for all of this, Porsha?
Well, okay, so funding.
What should I Google? Tell me what to Google. Tell the people what to Google, Porsha.
Well, okay, so for me, like, it hasn't really been Googling. Like, I just know, and it's from, and I know he's like been in a lot of hot water with different stuff. But when I first started investing, I'm still consumed in it. I'm very obsessed. But Jay Morrison, when I first started in 2016, but in 2017, I watched a video of Jay Morrison, and he was talking about his mother buying land. And then she built, but she used the land as the collateral to the bank.
Okay.
Yes. All right. So my developer, the one here in Dallas that works with me with different stuff, he told me that way. Because the way that my builder is doing it for my first build, we're not going through the bank.
Got it.
We're not going through the bank. It's because with her financing it, more so she has a relationship with a lender that we're using, which is fine. It's okay, but it's different. It's multiple ways to skin a cat. Yeah. So, but you will use that land more than likely as collateral. I haven't been through that process yet. I'm working on that. So I don't know everything about development. I definitely watch a lot with Brandon Rule, with Chris Senegal from down in Houston. Yeah. Definitely watch those guys a lot because I'm like, these guys are awesome, you know what I'm saying? And, they're Black men that's killing it in their areas. And it's really dope, but they definitely are very welcoming and helpful, when you do a consultation with them. So but we'll figure it out. Like, if you have the land, we'll figure it out. You know what I mean? I think people get so fearful of that. That's the first thing that they think about. Don't think about that. Yeah. Money is a tool. Money is everywhere. Like, you see the federal government printing it. Like, it's everywhere. Let's just bring the deal. Let's get the financial, get the not the financial report. Get the vision together. Get the vision together. Once you get the vision together of what you want on the property, the money will come. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, the money will come, like, all the time. May it be private investors, like the bank or whatever. Like, the money is sitting there. It's just sitting there. So don't worry about money. Like I always try to tell people that like you can create money from your mind, literally, because I do it.
I love that statement. That's so true. I love that.
Yeah, you can create money from your mind. Like don't worry about the money. Yeah, go get the deal.
Have you noticed with your consultations with people a ongoing theme of fear or doubt?
Okay, so I posted that after my first interview because a lot of people were messaging me about it. I said I was going to start September 1st. I have not started yet.
Okay.
Because I have been so busy because Hurricane Laura hit. We have another storm that's on the way with Texas and Louisiana, and I'm in Region 6. So I work Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and New Mexico. So I've been very busy. I've been swamped. And I do apologize to everybody because a lot of people, they still have been DMing me for that link. I was working on the link before this started, and that link will be out. I promise you guys that it will be out tomorrow. I'll probably post it tonight or tomorrow, whichever one, but I'm almost done. I promise y'all, like, and we will start those consultations up. But naturally, it's fear as we get older as adults. That's all it is. It's fear. So I, even in the consultations, I'm sure they're going to be saying they're just fearful. And it's like, I'm that type of friend or that person. I'm just going to push you. Yeah. Like I'm going to push you off the cliff, sink or swim. You got to get it because you have one life and life is way too short for us to be sitting up here second guessing. Oh, should I do it? Should I not do it? Should I go ask them if they want to sell their property? Did you die? Like you didn't die. Like just go do it, like just go ask. Like the worst they can tell you is no. And just move on to the next thing. Like it just that doesn't bother me at all. Even when folks tell me no, I'm just like, okay, like, thanks, like that's it. And I move on. I follow up with them, of course, maybe in 3 months or 6 months or whatever it may be, but can't hold that, it fell forward. Like don't ever not start though. You can't worry about that.
Now, throughout this entire process, you say you started back in 2016, is that correct?
November 2016.
What have you learned about yourself, Porsha, throughout all of this?
What have I learned about myself? That's a hard question because I really dislike talking about myself. But I've learned that I'm really like powerful beyond means. And what I mean by that is not like, nothing like that, like powerful like that. But what I mean by that is I can literally do anything. Like it is crazy. Like
no, it is not. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I have a disdain for that word crazy. There's nothing crazy, but it is amazing.
It is amazing. I'll say that. Amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. And what I mean by that is it's like, dude, like I'll think of something and then when I write it down and it's like in a few, like, maybe weeks, maybe a month or whatever, it appears. But it's, of course, every day that I'm working towards it or whatever, it doesn't come immediately, but y'all, like it literally comes and it's amazing. I was about to say that word, but it's amazing. It's amazing. And I think what I mean by like the whole thing, like the crazy or whatever, The Secret, I don't know if everybody like watched The Secret, but it's real. Like it's really real. Like it's not, I'm telling y'all, like it's really real. Like, and so I just always make sure that I'm intentional. I don't say that, like, hey, I want to develop. No, I want to develop to make a small community for homeless veterans. That's me being intentional. Those things and those people start appearing in my life, like, and that's just, you have to be intentional about what you want to do. You have to be intentional and it really will start to appear. And it doesn't have to be like, if you want to say you want to make $100,000, okay, what does it take to get to $100,000? For me, I'm like, okay, it's going to take me to do $25,000 each wholesale contracts. That's $100,000. You just reverse engineer whatever it may be. It could be 10,000, you know what I mean? Like it just whatever it needs to be for your number. I just know how my spreads are because I focus on land. So 3,000, 5,000, 8,000, 10, but 5 is my average of like what I'm doing for every contract. And so it's like, if I get 20 in, if I get 12 in, if I get 5 in, I typically know, what I'm looking at, and I just go on to the next one. So, and that's how you do that.
I'm so happy you said. Thank you so much for saying that.
Saying what?
No, seriously. Referring to the secret and the importance of we have more power individually than we ever realized.
Mm-hmm.
And in many ways, unfortunately, we are led to believe that you need external things, but it's not
Oh,
true. It's
it's
not.
within.
It
Mm-hmm.
truly is.
It's truly within.
Oh,
Like, because like I was telling you, like I didn't know what I was doing with the new bill. Like, no, I didn't. It wasn't like I knew like, oh, specs and this and this and this. Yeah, and me as a construction analyst for the for FEMA, and I used to be one for SBA. I did learn how to analyze and how to, know the numbers for a roof and foundation. And yes, I knew that stuff, but that doesn't mean that I knew at the time how to do the stuff. It's just, it appears. This is something that I want to do. It's something on my vision board. It's something that, is a photo of, what I want to do all the time. And so you have it in your mind. You do those daily affirmations, and it literally will appear. Yeah.
But I also want to add to that. You just said it, but I also have to reiterate it for those watching and those who are watching this replay. She does not only have the vision board, the affirmations, and she visualizes it. She also does the work towards it. Certain people
correct
that part.
Yeah. And that's just like, even with praying, I think a lot of people are like, just pray for it. Like, I'm a believer, and, and I'm just like, yeah, and you just like pray for it. But I think y'all missed the little part that's in there. Prayer without works is dead.
It's dead.
You can do the possible. God does the impossible, if that's what you believe. Like, I am a believer, but yeah, he does the impossible and I do the possible. I do the cold calling. I do the driving for dollars, the door knocking, the sending out contracts, the offers, the proposals, all different things like that. And then he does the impossible, where I didn't think that I could get, $300,000 for this or $500,000 for whatever. He does that impossible thing. Yeah.
Definitely. Now, look, it's almost touching an hour, so I don't want to. I'm not saying drag this on. Excuse me. I'm loving this, but I know you have other obligations as well. I know you have other obligations as well. However, I want people to know, how can they get in contact with you, Porsha?
All my social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook is all at the Porsha Edum. So I changed everything so it can just be all the Porsha Edum. So
wait, I lied. One last question. This is the official last question. You said over and over and over again about leveraging relationships and networking and leaning into your network.
Correct.
How have you built a strong network, and how do you nurture your relationships?
Understanding that it's not like I only hit you up when I need. Like, sometimes people, when they get in relationships and you do the networking and you do the business cards and all this stuff, they only hit you up when they do need something. And that's fine. That's definitely okay. But it's not always just like a give and take. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not always like a take. It is give and take. Sorry, excuse me. But it's not always like a take. And you're not adding value to that person as well. If somebody tells you X, Y, and Z and how to get to something, etc., well, you need to bless their game too. Like, don't just get all of their knowledge and all of their nuggets and never add anything to them. And it could be just by time. Maybe you don't have all the knowledge or whatever that you feel like they have, but add something. Like, don't be a leech. Like, I don't like stuff like that. And so my relationships with different things, even people that are like way above me with, just multimillionaires, different things like that, I try to add knowledge and value from my environmental scientist background. Nice. Because a lot of people don't know about the ESAs. They don't know about the TCQ. They don't know about different things that come with land when they're developing. I have that knowledge. I have some of those contacts still that I can link them with, so maybe, find something deep down where, like, if you have a contact in the zoning department or, somebody they work for City Hall or something, like, dude, those are contacts. Like real estate investors, we need those contacts. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, you have to dig deep, to leverage that network. And just, like I said, it's a give and take. Just don't take from people and then you leave them dry. And it's like, that's draining. That's very draining.
That's true.
That's why people start charging $1,000 an hour. Because people be draining them. Like that's why people charge $1,000 an hour, because people drain them. And it's like, and it's all just, take. What can you show me? How can you show me how to get money? Well, that's how it is. So but social media has been great networking. It's a lot of people that I have never even met before. And we've made money together. So yeah.
I love that. I love that so much. Porsha, thank you so very much for coming on tonight.
Hey, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Hopefully I see you at the next wholesaling summit.
I know, in person.
Right.
We shall see. So everyone, thank you so much for tuning in tonight and watching us. Make sure, if you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button on this YouTube channel so you can see more awesome interviews with phenomenal people like Porsha. And make sure that you're following Porsha on all of her social media channels, because she shares amazing knowledge like this on a regular basis. And I highly suggest, when that consultation link drops, hit it.
Thank you.
Hit it. Okay, you're welcome, because she doesn't do live content that often. This is a real privilege, and I deeply appreciate it. So like I said, when she drops it, hit the link. Okay, you're welcome. For everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Te amo. Besos. Ciao.
All right.